Hi, and welcome back to So Blessed by Jess. If this is your first time viewing my channel, thank you so much. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming along and watching another video. I really appreciate that. Well, today we are making the basket block. We need two fabrics. We need a background fabric and the basket fabric. As you can see, I picked brown and it kind of has a basket weave inside. So the line that I'm using by Pam Buddha Maple House that I got from the Fat Quarter Club, it had this fabric to it. So it's part of her collection, which is amazing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to flip you over so you can see the instructions or the cutting instructions, and then we're going to dive right into the block. All right, let's roll. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our background fabric and our basket fabric that are cut 4 by 1 1/4. We're going to line them up, right sides together, and draw a line from point to point. Now we're going to go ahead and sew 1/4 inch away from that drawn line. All right, now that we've sewn 1/4 inch, we're going to go ahead and cut this down where our solid line was that we made. You have made 2 half square triangle pieces for 2 different blocks. Now for this block, we're only going to need 1 of these. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut it. I can grab my ruler here. Here we go. And now I have my unit, and I'm going to press open. Okay, and I'm going to do my pressing all in just one moment. Then I'm going to take my 5-inch background, 5-inch basket and 5-inch background. I'm going to lay those together, right sides together, just like that. And I've drawn an X on the back of these 5-inch squares. And now we're going to sew 1/4 inch on both sides of those lines. We are now making 8 at a time half square triangles. Oops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you down so I can show you how to cut this, because I'm not just only cutting on the lines, but I'm also going to cut diagonally and horizontally. or sorry, vertical and horizontally. Well, I lost the footage of cutting this piece. So what you're going to do is take your ruler, line it up vertically so that it goes and crosses the lines, cut a vertical line, then cut a horizontal line so it cuts the block vertically and horizontally directly in half, and then follow your solid lines that you sewed a 1/4 inch away from and cut on those drawn lines. Now it's time to square up our half square triangles. I'm using the clearly trimmed slaughter ruler. I am using trimmer B. I am using the 2-inch line. I am lining up the dotted line with my seam line. Then I am cutting up both sides of the triangle and cutting out the slots, and you can see me doing that right here. I'm lining it up on the seam line, cutting down the side, and cutting my slots. Now I am using my wool mat. I am flipping over the half square triangles, running my finger down the line, grabbing my iron, and then just pressing open those seams. And I'm going to do this to all 9 of the half square triangles that we created. All right, so now we're going to set up our basket block like so. So our big unit, our big half square triangle, you're going to have the basket facing up. Our smaller half square triangles, they're all going to be facing in the down direction. And then we're going to take our rectangles and we're going to go ahead and place them on the side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew. I'm going to sew in groups. So 2, 4, 6. I'm going to sew these 2 together, then these 2 together, and then these 2 together. Then I'm going to sew all 3 of these, add my rectangle on. I'm going to sew these 2 together. Then I'm going to add my rectangle to the bottom. We're going to add our half square triangle here and then sew this long seam together. All right, I'm going to speed up this section, but you're going to see, I'm going to leave it right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up some pieces, sew them together, and place them back down. All right, and after trimming, there we go. We have our basket block. So all you need is 2 colors. So, and if you can see, the fabric looks like it has a weave to it. Isn't that amazing? I love it. So yes, you can see that point. I'm not going to go ahead and change it. I think it's perfect just the way that it is. I know that I am not a perfect person, and this is probably, there's a couple more that they're like a thread's length, but it just shows imperfection, and I like that. So if you don't like that, go ahead, before you trim it up, tear it out, move it over, and just remember that these blocks, they can be stretched in lots of directions because they're on a bias and with your half square triangles. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you are enjoying this series. We only have 4 more blocks to make. We'll be putting our sashes on and then off to the races on our next project. Well, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Be blessed.